matchup on the women's side. #1 player in the world, Martina Hingis, takes on #5 seed, Mary Pierce. The weather all week long has been hot and dry. Today, a little bit more of a wind coming from the north. Hi, everyone. I'm Pam Shriver, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. This is our second semifinal. Last night, we saw the first of the semifinal between #2 player in the world, Lindsay Davenport, who won this tournament in 1997, who's only lost once in 2000. She was playing young Russian Yelena Dementieva, and they played 6 months ago in the finals of the Fed Cup, and it was a pretty interesting first set. Dementieva playing the biggest match of her young career. This is the first time through to a major semifinal. Struggled against Davenport after the first few games. Lindsay Davenport just shows so much style with so many different weapons. The backhand's always been solid, but now the forehand is such a consistent weapon. First set, 6-2 to Davenport, and now at match point, up 5-1 in the second set. That late forehand from Dementieva gave Davenport the match, 6-2, 6-1. On the men's side of the draw, Pete Sampras, he has been struggling, but winning. 7-6 in the third the other day against Wayne Ferreira, and then yesterday against Byron Black, 6-2 in the third. But it's good to see Pete winning and healthy. Earlier today, Nicholas Lepenti, the #8 seed, took on Hicham Arazi, who had put out Andre Agassi, the big upset on the men's side, on Monday. This is now match point in a match that took under an hour as Lepenti was in total control. That's the lefty Arazi, and this shows you the international flavor of tennis, a Moroccan playing against an Ecuadorian. Lepenti was all over Arazi, winning 6-2, 6-love, and he's in the semifinals. Have a look at the tournament summary. You'll see that Lindsay Davenport and Mary Pierce. Davenport is in the finals, and she's looking to be #1. Pete Sampras survived early, a couple of 3-setters, and Philip Hoos is the defending champion. He's looking pretty good with an easy straight set win yesterday over Tommy Haas. Mary Jo Fernandez, look at us in our green.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Pam.
Thanks so much. Someone who has St. Patrick's Day off in singles is Lindsay Davenport, and she's been winning so easily it's almost boring.
It has been boring to watch Lindsay Davenport. She's playing with so much confidence at such a high level that she's making it difficult for her opponents to win games against her. Last night against Dementieva, Davenport was on cruise control. She just overpowered Dementieva from both sides, and it was just too good. Davenport afterwards said that she's not only concentrating to win the matches, she's trying to win them quickly. She only took 47 minutes last night.
Well, speaking about players winning matches quickly, both our semifinalists today won their quarterfinals easily the other day. Pierce beating Williams comfortably, and Hingis over Sellis. I guess you have to give Hingis a slight edge in this match.
I give Hingis a psychological edge because she's been Pierce the last 6 times, including last week in Arizona. Hingis has looked very sharp all week. She's playing very consistently with a lot of depth, a lot of accuracy, moving her opponents all over the court and trying to serve and volley. I think she'll do that against Pierce today. Pierce, on the other hand, has played the best tennis, I think, of her career, especially in crushing Serena Williams 6-2, 6-1. She played a clean match, very few unforced errors, a lot of winners, and she's going to have to attack the Hingis serve today to really challenge her.
We can hear that the crowd are applauding because the players are walking out for their semifinal match. Martina Hingis trying to hang on to the #1 ranking in the world. She's got a tough challenge against Mary Pierce. Martina Hingis has been #1 in the world for over 150 weeks in her young career. Mary Pierce, she's won a major.
It seems like they were thinking about it from the beginning.
In the 1930s.
Presentation of the Tennis Masters Series is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbUSA.com. And by Sun Microsystems, we're the dot in .com. Better hurry and take your seats, because Martina Hingis and Mary Pierce, it's a slugger against a finesser, #1 in the world. Martina Hingis trying to hold off Mary Pierce, who was in devastating form the other day. You can see the quarterfinals onward, Mary Jo, and it's a few little surprising results.
Well, it was a huge surprise to see Pierce demolish Serena Williams. I mean, she beat her 6-2, 6-1, never let Serena into the match. And Hingis against Sellis, the first 6 games were close, but after that, Hingis was on cruise control as well. She just kept the ball steady and deep and moved Monaco all over the court. Last night's semifinal match, Davenport, just too powerful, too solid for the young Russian.
Well, Martina Hingis knows that if she can win this match, her nemesis of the last year and a half, Lindsay Davenport, is waiting in the finals, 19 years of age. born and still lives in Switzerland, turned pro back in 1994. I was at that tournament in Zurich, Switzerland, 134 weeks. I actually thought it was closer to 150, but that probably will be soon.
This is a good match for Hingis because Pierce plays a little bit like Davenport. She has big ground strokes, has a good first serve. The only problem is Pierce hasn't been able to do it consistently. She hasn't been able to attack Hingis on every single shot.
Well, Martina Hingis is having a sort of a dilemma on how to try and raise the level of her game to match the power. How are you doing it, Martina?
Well, I've been working on, my speed on the court. That definitely helps me to get to those shots I really want to play. I think, in the past I maybe had a little difficulty with that, with the serve. But every time I go into the new tournaments, I feel much better physically, so I can do the shots I really want, and the all-around game, which I always based on.
She definitely seems in better shape this year, Mary Jo.
She's a lot fitter. She's been working very hard in Saddlebrook, Florida, getting in shape, getting stronger in her upper body, and I think that serve is really the key. That's really the only weakness in her game.
Well, somebody who does not need to work on their strength is Mary Pierce. She's just one of the strongest players on the Sanex WTA Tour. She's 25 years of age. She won the Australian Open back in 1995. That's the biggest career win in her veteran career. Lives in Florida, but was born, I think, in Canada, or, I don't know, plays under the French flag. Very international player.
Pierce has been knocking on the door of the top 5. After this great result, she'll be ranked number 4. Hasn't been up there since, I think, 1998. And this match against Williams should have given her a lot of confidence. She should be coming out today, striking the ball cleanly, and really going after her shots.
Mary Pierce sort of has a new level of energy about her game right now, and we asked her sort of about her year so far.
I wasn't happy with the beginning of my year, the way I was playing, the way I was feeling on the court, and I had to go back and take a step back and kind of see what I was doing, and I realized that my training was not what I needed. It wasn't sufficient. It wasn't intense enough. It wasn't bringing the best out of me.
Well, the best came out of her the other day in that quarterfinal, as we've talked about, just crushing Serena Williams, who has yet to find her good form in 2000, and her older sister Venus has been on the sidelines all year long. So Mary Pierce in the semifinals. Look up in the sun, because when she was warming up with giving some lobs to Hingis a second ago, Hingis swung and missed. We're going to have the semifinal of the Tennis Masters Series after this. Expression. See, actually, it's sort of funny with Hingis because she does like to bring that smile out.
She does. She takes it so very well. Even when she loses, she's very good about it.
Got that one. It would have been really embarrassing if she'd swung and missed twice. Of course, you just told me you swung and missed on a serve once in Sydney.
Yeah, I told you that for your own sake, Pam, not for everybody else to know.
Sorry, they do now. Hingis up 9-5 and won the last 6, as you mentioned, Mary Jo, and the last win almost 2 years ago for Mary Pierce. And as what has become a tradition.
Where's the other one?
After umpire calls time, both players go to their chairs, or in this case, Mary Pierce is actually on the baseline chair, having a view of that line.
Put one more ball in,
yes, please. It's hot, Martina. It's very hot.
I don't know if she's wearing the right color for how hot it is. Bright purple.
Well, she's going to wear a color. She should be wearing green, for crying out loud.
Well, but I don't think she's Irish, is she?
Where is it?
Oh, Hingis. Oh, now Melanie, she's styling today.
She's got a little green in the hat.
Okay. You call that green?
Oh, dark green, tan.
Okay. Mom and coach. Mary Pierce ready to serve. And Thomas Enquist will be playing our feature match tonight on ESPN 2, 11 p.m. Pacific time. Sampras going for 4 wins in a row out here.
Nice start from Pierce. Really going after the ball. First 2 points of the match. She wants to keep the points short. She wants the 1-2 play as often as she can.
30 love.
40 love.
Love.
What an early service game for Mary Pierce. Easy hold, 1-love.
First game.
It's tournament time again, and ESPN and ESPN2 has the very best in women's college basketball. Opening round action begins tonight. First at 6 p.m. Eastern, it's St. Joe's versus Texas. Then at midnight, it's UAB versus Oregon. And it all culminates with a women's NCAA championship game on Sunday, April 2nd on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network.
When these two played last week, there were a lot of break of serve, especially early in the match. You expect that when Hingis is playing, that their opponent's going to break her a few times, but Pierce having a lot of difficulties holding on. Not a very high percentage of first serves from Pierce last week.
In conditions at night in Scottsdale, where the wind was blowing about 30 miles an hour. That's when the front was moving through, and behind that wind that came to Scottsdale was about 2.5 days of rain, and Hingis and Davenport ended up sharing that title in Scottsdale, Arizona. First 6 points to Pierce, love 30.
Pierce taking a big whack at that return. I think we're going to see her go after the serve time and time and again. That puts pressure on Hingis, knowing that she's got to get a good first serve in, and if not, she might have to gamble a little bit more on her second serve. Well, you don't want to give Pierce time to set up. She had all the time in the world to hit this forehand. Look at the big backswing she takes before she hits this winner. She winds up, and boom, right into the open court.
Second serve now for Hingis, 2 break points. Is picking up exactly where she left off 2 days ago. She lost only 3 games to Serena Williams.
No, it's a tremendous start from Pierce. She's really going after it early. Whenever she gets the opportunity, she's got Hingis moving wide. And that was the big difference against Serena. She was able to be consistent. She wasn't streaky. She played a very, very tight match.
Level, but this is exactly the matchup that Martina Hingis has problems with right now in women's tennis, the big power play.
Well, this is where she gets in trouble, Hingis, against the Davenports and the Williams, and if Pierce can maintain the consistency, like you said, Pam, she can just blow her off the court.
15 love. Pierce has won 9 of the first 10 points.
After that winner, saying, when are you going to start making some mistakes, Mary? I mean, again, the 1-2 play. She's got a good kick serve, steps in, hits it to the open court.
That return's just not good enough. When someone's playing like this, you got to go for the sidelines. You got to go for a little hurt. I know sometimes on the big first serves, that was 111 fault. It's out of Hingis's hands, but that last serve, Hingis can do better with the returns than she's doing right now.
Like that. That time, Hingis really stepped into the court, took it early, cut off the angle. Mary Pierce has a really high ball toss. She likes to kick her serve. This time she went to the forehand of Hingis, and And Hingis really took a short backswing and bunted it up the line.
This is
30 all. Talked about the high ball toss of Mary Pierce. It is still high, but it used to be a lot higher. On a day like today, the side where Pierce is serving, that's where the sun is horrendous right now.
Again. I think Hingis needs to start hitting it away from the Pierce backhand. Pierce loves that side, creates a lot of angle from the double-handed backhand. Maybe it's time to start attacking the forehand a little bit more.
Game point. Mary Pierce up 3-love on Martina Hingis.
Watch any.
Mary Pierce has just lost a couple of points so far in this match, up 3-love on Martina Hingis. Join us Sunday at 9 p.m. as ESPN Classic presents Real Classics Wilma, the Wilma Rudolph story, commemorating the 40th anniversary of the first American woman to win 3 Olympic gold medals. ESPN Classics bring you the story of one of the most influential athletes of the 20th century. That's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday. I had the pleasure of meeting Wilma Rudolph a couple of times. What an elegant, wonderful woman. Lost her battle to cancer just a couple of years ago.
So we are seeing a little bit of everything from Mary today. She's attacking it. She's throwing in some high balls. She's coming into the net. I think she's really thought about a game plan in order to turn the tables on Hingis.
Well, when Pierce is playing well and striking the ball as cleanly as she is there really a game plan, or is it just, you know, just hit the ball hard and then take the opening as soon as you can?
I think it's very mental for Mary. She's got to be in a good frame of mind. She has to be seeing the ball extremely well. But it is. It's hitting winners, going for the openings whenever she gets the opportunity.
Whoa, called out. But, boy, was that close. You talked about her seeing the ball. It was just a few weeks ago. She had that laser eye surgery, and she's actually credited that along with a little bit of a change in her coaching situation, bringing her family into more of a prominent role. Her brother, and recently working a little bit away from a WTA Tour tournament with her father, Jim Pierce.
Mary's the type of player that really needs to be focused on the court. Sometimes in the past you've seen her be very streaky and just a little bit spazzy sometimes in her antics.
That was something I became familiar with in my own career. Spazzy play. Winner on the forehand side gives Martina Hingis her first game of the match. Still 3-1 Pierce.
There's been another change in the Pierce game, her racket. She just switched from the Wilson Pro Step to the Yonex. She loved those Wilson frames, but they stopped making the racket. She thought that her frame started to get a little old and a little dead.
No wonder with punishing shots like that, that would kill a racket anytime. Also, these two are doubles partners this year, and it's the same brand that Martina Hingis plays with.
Well, she definitely feels that this racket has more power and the ball's coming off of it a lot quicker.
Second ace from Mary Pierce, who's serving at 67%, whereas Hingis is down at 30. It's going to be a real problem for Hingis if she doesn't pick that up. 30-love.
hitting Mary Pierce.
You see the winner's 9 from Mary Pierce, +7 on that. It's not like Hingis is playing horrible. It's just out of her hands a lot of these points early in the match. 30-15.
What do you do? I mean, Pierce is striking the ball so cleanly, taking advantage of that first short ball, the reply off her serve. Pierce is on the defensive right away.
First double fault. Still one more game point.
Tremendous.
Like a speed gun on that backhand. That had to be at least 100 miles an hour. Pierce, a 4-1. Is there going to be an upset here at Indian Wells? Stay with us. It's only a break, but Martina Hingis better look out here, serving at 1-4. From Mary Pierce. You're watching semifinal action, the Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I'm Pam Shriver, Mary Jo Fernandez. Lindsay Davenport's already through to the finals. Coverage continues tonight on ESPN2. Pete Sampras plays 11 o'clock Pacific time against Thomas Enquist.
Love 30. Oh, Pam, Pierce is just controlling every single point out here. Hingis is scrambling, playing behind the baseline. Not where she wants to be.
Well, as hard as she hits the ball and as risky as some of her shots are, it's going to happen. Still only 5 unforced errors so far from Mary Pierce. That's 1 a game. It's a good average. There, you had Mary Pierce several yards behind the baseline, and Hingis was camped out right on it.
Well, this is what Hingis does best. Control the points from inside the baseline, move her opponents around the court. If she can get Mary moving side to side, she'll be in good shape.
30 all from love 30 down.
Another unforced error by Pierce. Her 6th gives game point to Hingis.
With that one, so Martina Hingis keeps it just a 1-break advantage for Mary Pierce. We saw an awfully long rally just a couple of points ago, and this is the point where Hingis really takes control, and she does not back up very far from the baseline. And with this shot, starts to get Pierce into trouble, and you can see how far back Mary Pierce is now throughout the point until later on in the rally when she tries to keep it, creep in, and gain the advantage, but makes the unforced error. whether or not that's going to be a change of momentum now, because Hingis was down love 30 and then won 4 straight points. Pierce is serving up the tough end. This is often when Hingis will make her move.
And that helps the cause for Hingis. A double fault by Pierce. Second of the match. We've always talked about how smart Martina Hingis is. She's always thinking out there, always trying to find new ways to hurt her opponents.
Now the chance to break at love 30 and baseline points will be important throughout this match. You can see Pierce with the early edge. However, Hingis with 3 straight winning points from the baseline, so a bit of a momentum change going on right now. 6 straight points now for the world's #1.
There's a bit of a missed opportunity from Hingis. She miscalculated that kick serve from Pierce.
But she likes to hit that inside-out backhand return.
She likes to hit both sides a little bit off. She likes the inside out from the forehand because her wrist is so laid back, and her backhand, she can pretty much go anywhere with it.
15-30. Unforced errors starting to creep in more to the game of Mary Pierce. 2 break points for Hingis. The first of the match for her. There's that laid back forehand, late with the return and perfectly struck, getting the break back. Hingis to serve, 3-4 down, first set. 3-4, Hingis to serve. Stay with us tonight as ESPN 2's coverage continues from the Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells as Pete Sampras takes on Thomas Enquist. That's 11 p.m. Pacific time. Sampras leads that head-to-head 9-1. The other day after Pete won his match over Wayne Ferreira 7-6 in the third, I was hitting some tennis balls at a little park not too far from here, and he was actually doing some running exercises with Paul Annacone.
Well, Pete's trying to get back in form. He's been injured, so the more fitness he does, the better he's going to feel with every match.
So tune in tonight and see if his comeback continues as he tries to close the gap and get back towards that top spot. 30 love. That was one of the longest exchanges I've ever seen, straight down the center of the court during a point.
They both were hitting the ball hard, straight up the middle, cutting away the angles. But Martina Hingis, her favorite shot, her backhand down the line. Look, from the middle of the court, this is a difficult shot. But like you said, Pam, she likes that off backhand.
Coming to the net. Easy hold of serve and the tough end with the sun. Now 4-all. What a change has come over this match. That's now 12 of the last 13 points to Martina Hingis. We've seen 2 big swings in this match so far. The first one obviously going Pierce's way. And now Martina Hingis. What now at 4-all in the first set?
Hingis is one of the quickest players on the tour. She anticipates so well. She reads her opponent's shots, always knows where the ball is going. After she hits that ball on the run, she takes off, almost gets that one. But Pam, this match has really been 2 different matches. I mean, Pierce was in total control for the first 5 games, and now it's been Hingis. I almost think Pierce is starting to get a little bit tired. She was producing such great shots from the start, really attacking the ball, and that's very hard to do consistently.
Almost on cue. It looked like she just yawned there. I can't imagine after 25 minutes on the court she's tired. Maybe mentally she kind of like had this burst, and now she's just having trouble keeping her focus. A lot of unforced errors right now. 15-30.
She's trying to press a little too much now. Sometimes that's a sign of weariness. Trying to go for too much too soon.
Only 3 unforced errors for Hingis. So when Hingis was down early, it was all because of the winners of Mary Pierce. Whereas right now, it's really the errors of Mary Pierce. I don't think Mary knew the first serve was a fault.
Yeah.
So really the concentration right now, she's just a little out in space right now. 2 break points. So from 1-4 down, Martina Hingis has come marching right back into this first set, and she'll be serving to gain that first set advantage, up 5-4.
Point by both players. Mary showing Hingis a little bit of her own stuff. A nice finesse drop shot. We're used to seeing Hingis hit these shots, not Mary.
You see how it bounces towards the doubles alley.
She disguises this very well. Just at the last minute, she changed the racket head to come underneath the ball.
The backhand is just lethal. You just can't hit to it when you're off court because Hingis is so good at finding that open target. 15 all. That ace brings Hingis to within 2 points of the first set. You don't see that very often. 2 in a row from the little Swiss dynamo. 2 set points. You know she's going to go for 3, right?
Definitely. She's going to serve volley, too.
We've seen her play before.
Just a few times. I played her way too many times.
Did you ever beat her?
I think she was about 10.
I don't think I could have beaten her when she was 10. The old delayed serve volley play wins the point for Martina Hingis. After 30 minutes and a 1-4 deficit, Martina Hingis erases it in a hurry. She climbs right back in the first set and this match, winning the last 5 games to win the first set over Mary Pierce, 6 games to 4. Hingis only committed 3 unforced errors in that first set. And that's a forced error for Mary Pierce, but having a look at the numbers from the first set in the winners and unforced errors category, you can see 9 winners to 3 errors. That kind of a ratio, you don't lose matches.
You don't, and she's been doing that all week. She's been so consistent and so steady, playing such high percentage tennis. And she just waits for her opponents to start making mistakes.
And look what kind of point Pierce had to play to win it. That's what puts the pressure on the opponent. When somebody's making so few unforced errors, you've got to come up with such quality stuff every single point.
Well, you have to play close to the lines, take some chances like we see Mary coming into net. She doesn't feel comfortable here, but she knows she's got to do something different to hurt Hingis.
15 all. 6 of 7 when she gets to net in this match. See that return a lot now from Martina Hingis.
It's very difficult to attack consistently all the time when you're playing against Hingis. You start pressing, you start going for the lines too much, and you start making mistakes. The only person who's been able to do it is Lindsay Davenport. And I really feel that one of the reasons Davenport can do it is because her serve has become such a weapon. She gets a couple free points every game she serves against Hingis.
2 break points now. This is where you'd like to be able to come up with some free points on your serve. Well, Pierce played like Davenport in the first 5 games of this match, but then it went away. Smart serve into the left shoulder of Hingis. A lot of thought has to go into these locations on the serve because Hingis reads things so well.
Hingis makes you hit that extra shot every time. Mary Pierce made no mistake, though, in putting away the easy shot. That's one of the reasons that Hingis is so good. No matter what the score is, she chases every single ball down.
Good comeback in this game from Mary Pierce. With that ace, she'll have a game point. That's why Hingis has held on to the #1 ranking despite Davenport's charge, because she has so many quality finishes in tournaments. If she doesn't win them, she's in the finals, losing in the semis. Well, we've seen both players now serve back-to-back aces, 101 miles an hour, and that's away from the radar gun, which is positioned right in the middle. Our coverage of the Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells continues tonight on ESPN2 at 11 p.m. on the West Coast. Tonight in the men's quarterfinal, it's Pete Sampras. He takes on Thomas Enquist of Sweden. Then join us tomorrow for men's semifinal action, first at 8 p.m. on ESPN, and then at 1 a.m. on ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Andre Agassi out on the first day, sent a little bit of a shock through the tournament after losing in the desert in Phoenix just a few days prior to that loss. So a lot of question about Agassi's form right now. And Pete trying to regain the confidence that saw him 6 years in the ATP at the #1 spot.
Well, you could hear Hingis after she hit that volley say, "Oh no." Cut it a little too close.
Well, I'm still thinking about Pierce and the way she dug herself out of that last game. 15-40 down. Very impressive.
Well, it's scary that you have to hit aces to be able to win your service games and get out of holes against Hingis. It's not easy to do all the time.
Another ace from Martina Hingis. Hingis is 3rd. Pierce has 4. 1 all. Pierce, Mary Pierce's brother, who's now also coaching her. God, I remember when he was about 10 years old.
Mary's happy to have him around, family member. She says she's been more focused this week, having a lot of fun on and off the court with her brother. He's been helping her train and do her fitness stuff with her.
I met Mary Pierce for the first time in 1989. She was actually still under the United States Tennis Association Player Development Program before she left for France. .1530 with that unforced error. In trouble again on serve. Remember, Pierce dug out of a big problem in her last service game. 1540 down.
Great stuff again from both players. I still think the longer the rally, the more it helps Hingis. Hingis finally stretches Mary out, takes the opportunity to sneak in and hit a swinging volley. Shot that's become very common on the women's tour.
Chances again to break serve for Hingis. And the same serve into the body. This time the neck cord winner for Martina Hingis, and she grabs the break advantage in the second set. Up a set, 6-2, 6-4, 2-1. Mary Pierce now needs to break the Hingis' serve. Hingis up 6-4, 2-1. We asked Mary Pierce about what it's like having your brother coaching you now.
I'm very happy to have my brother with me. I think it's very special. You know, there's nobody really that can know my game better or as good as him, because he's been with me since the first day I started playing tennis. So, you know, there's nothing better than having your own brother there with you, supporting you, and we get along very, very well. So it's just a lot of fun to have him with me every day and practicing.
Saw down in Australia just 2 months ago, Mary Pierce was down there with her fiance, Roberto Alomar, but of course, Roberto's a little busy right now with spring training for the Cleveland Indians. It's nice having people you love around you when you're playing out here on the tour.
Well, it's a bonus that he knows how to play tennis and he knows so much about the game. I always talk to Monica Seles about what an advantage it is for the Williams sisters to have each other. I mean, can you find a better practice partner than that?
Of course, Monica had her older brother, Zoltan, who was a pretty good player. Both my sisters were just terrible players. I would have had, like, no warm-up.
Same story in my family. Nobody can hit a tennis ball to save their lives.
My father thought he could. 40-15, 2-game points for Martina Hingis to stretch this lead. Mom looks on. She's happy right now. She gets a little too sort of cutesy every so often, the serve volley play, and then the smile afterwards.
Well, she's so confident, and you know when she starts serving and volleying a little more frequently that she's getting a little cocky.
See Mary tucking in her necklace into her dress because she don't want it flying around. Ace brings up the game, 3-1. Makes me wonder, though, why she'd have such a long necklace that would, like, fly up and hit her in the face. I mean, I think that perhaps a shorter one would be more practical, like the one you have on here, Joe.
Well, I think it might be a little emotional attachment she's got to it. It might be something Robbie gave her.
So is that why she tucks it near her heart?
There you go.
Okay. I got it. Must hold here for Mary Pierce. 15 love.
These two will be playing doubles later on today in the semifinals. They'll be on the same side of the court facing Davenport and Moraru. I wonder how tough that is to go after you play your opponent and have to be very friendly with them.
Well, I had to do that for about 10 years with the original Martina, Navratilova. She tended to enjoy it more than I did. She simply beat me. You're watching semifinal action from the Tennis Masters Series. Indian Wells semifinals. We got Mary Pierce against Martina Hingis. Lindsay Davenport, she's in a familiar spot. She's in the finals waiting for the winner of this. Pam Shriver, Mary Jo Fernandez. Happy to bring this action to you tonight. Cliff Drysdale and Patrick McEnroe. Then Sampras versus Enquist, 11 p.m. out west, 2 a.m. on the East Coast for you insomniacs.
Well, Hingis all over this returner serve. Look how early she took it, guided it up the line. The tougher of the two returns, always easier, more safe to play it cross court.
Goodbye. Well, it was a little mishit, but it was still goodbye. 4-3. Hingis has won 8 of the last 9 games. Pierce having a game point here.
I was just thinking how rare it is for Hingis to make an error off the return serve. Unless it's a huge first serve near the lines, she's always making her opponent play the next shot.
Break point. Martina Hingis, after trailing 1-4 in the first set, has taken total command of this semifinal. She's just 2 games away from another encounter with Davenport.
Okay, so I'm not on the new golden dollar coin. That's cool with me. I've got places to go and I've got people to meet. Anyway, the new coin is perfectly all right without me. In fact, I use it everywhere. Thanks. It's so money.
Introducing the new golden dollar. It's changing the face of money.
Besides, I still look good on paper.
1-4 Hingis. I thought there might be an upset in the air, but a total turnaround. And now Martina Hingis is serving for 5-1, 2 games away from that spot against her nemesis. Has not beaten Lindsay Davenport in a year and a half. Join us tomorrow afternoon for senior PGA Tour action on ABC Sports. It's a Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf from St. Augustine, Florida. Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson will be among the stars playing in a special event. Some of the greatest names in the sport team up. Second round action tees off tomorrow at 1 p.m. on ABC. Hubert Green playing with Gil Morgan. My buddy Hubert, he shot a 62 to win a tournament the other day. 62, that's like beating somebody 0-0. Crushed. 30 love.
Look at that stat. Only 5 unforced errors for Martina Hingis. She's going to win most of her matches when you have that ratio.
And that 19 unforced from Pierce matches her winners of 19. So, you know, a lot of times when you see a match like this, it's a lot more unforced errors than winners. But Pierce is level in that category, which shows you the quality of Hingis's play up until that double fault. But at 40 love, probably doesn't matter. It might.
Well, there's never a good time to double fault, but I guess if you're up 40 love and 4-1 in the second set, it's okay. But now this is the trouble that Hingis can get into against a good returner when she serves and volleys. Didn't quite get up to the net in time.
Swinging low, topspin forehand volley puts Pierce at a disadvantage, and Pierce nets the forehand. Martina Hingis up 6-4, 5-1. Seen some starts of matches this week be interesting. The Celis-Hingis match at 3-all looked in the balance. Suddenly Hingis put her foot on the accelerator. Same thing with Davenport-Demencheva last night. Interesting early, all Davenport in the end. Same thing here.
Well, Pierce hit all her winners basically in those first 5 games. Really looked like she was the #1 player on the court. But ever since then, those unforced errors really creeping in.
It's only the 7th unforced error off the racket of Martina Hingis. 15-all.
White plate.
Boy, that's a big flat serve out wide. That one just over the base service line. No call from the base linesman, clearly out. So Leanne White of Australia steps up, makes the call.
And this is a very good overrule by Leanne White. It's clearly out. Hingis pointed to the mark after the point was over.
30-all.
That's just wisdom for the 19-year-old from Switzerland. Saw that her opponent was close to the net. Didn't go for a huge topspin lob, just a little bit over.
Brings up a match point.
Pierce saves the first match point off a wild forehand from Hingis.
Yeah, kind of loose play there. She wants to get in the locker room. some encouragement. I want to see this match just go a little bit longer. And it will with that backhand winner down the line. The 21st off the racket of Mary Pierce. She hangs in this semifinal match. Hingis to serve for it when we come back. For it, 5-2 up. Tonight, stay tuned to ESPN 2 as Pete Sampras takes on Thomas Enquist. Tennis Masters Series continues from Indian Wells. Quarterfinals of the men's, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. 10 of the last 12 games. A little bit of a question on that last call from Pierce, but she's ready to play. 2 missed returns right off the bat. I mean, at least make Hingis play some.
You always want to make it tougher for your opponent to win the match. Let them come up with the winners, the best shots. Oh. How good is that, Pam?
Oh, just another routine Hingis play. Takes her to 3 match points.
Game 6.
They'll be playing doubles later on together, but the winner here, Martina Hingis. Straightforward win for the #1 player in the world, setting up that matchup we've seen so many times. Hingis versus Davenport. It's Martina Hingis easily.
Got to stop right there. Good girl.
Today,
Martina Hingis, #1 player in the world with a straight set 6-4, 6-2 win over Mary Pierce, her doubles partner. And we have both players with us down courtside. And Martina, you played a great match, but beating your doubles partner, come on.
Well, I mean, you have to face your doubles partner. I mean, we had so much fun together on the court. We practiced together, and well, I feel sorry now, but I mean, okay, I have to make some money too.
Well, Mary, what do you think?
I don't think she feels sorry. No.
Well, not right now, but then on court, I mean, it's like, okay, you have to play your opponent, and it doesn't matter who it is. Of course, playing your friend, but you started off killing me, so wait a minute there.
No, congratulations, Martina. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
In the finals.
Now, do you guys want to share a little bit of your doubles strategy for later? I know you played Davenport and Marario.
Well, we keep that as a secret. I mean, they might be watching, and that's just not fair if we tell them. You know?
That's very smart, Martina. But let's talk about, the beginning of the match. I mean, Mary, you came out firing, just like you were at the end of the match against Serena, hitting so many winners, just not letting Martina play. What kind of changed things up there?
I think Martina played 2 really great games after that in 4-1 and really made me work and played a lot of balls in the court. And I just got a little bit tired there. That took a little bit out of me, and I started going for my shots, I think, too much, forcing the shots, making some errors. And then Martina just came back and played really consistent.
Well, Martina, you were in single digits in unforced errors. I think you had like 7 going into the 5-1 game in the second set. You really played a great, very clean match.
Yeah, well, that was everything I could do against Mary. She came out really firing those balls, and I feel like in the Formula One, they just passed me all the time. So I just had to keep the ball in the game, and that's all I could do at that moment. Even I was down, I just still felt like there is a hope or something, but the match never over, and it was a great beginning. I mean, I'm happy to have that, in my pocket, because it was a great match in the beginning.
Well, Mary, now look, we've seen Davenport Hingis matchup in women's tennis for a while. If you had to give your doubles partner some advice going in playing somebody who plays a little bit like you, Davenport, what would it be?
I don't think she needs any advice. I think she knows what to do. It's going to be a great match. Both girls, Lindsay and Martina, are playing great tennis, so it's going to be a great match.
Martina, what do you think? You served and volleyed a little bit today, especially towards the end. You think you'll be doing that a little bit against Lindsay, a little different strategy going into tomorrow's match?
Well, I don't know about that, but once I was up, you have a little bit more, confidence to come in and just take your chances if you can. And, well, maybe, I have to do something tomorrow. It's going to be a very tough match for me. I've played Lindsay a few times this year, didn't beat her, so this is just another chance for me.
Well, you're still #1. I think it's 135 weeks, so congratulations.
And Mary, thanks for being a great sport and talking to us at
Pam.
the end of a tough loss.
You're welcome.
Got another final matchup. Davenport against Martina Hingis. Today, Hingis was so stingy throughout the match. Even under the firepower of Mary Pierce early, it was a straight set 6-4, 6-2 for the #1 player in the world.